There's breaking news in our Russia White House watch. Sources say the top leaders of the House Intelligence Committee investigation on Russia have agreed on a witness list, including some big names with ties to President Trump who could testify in 2 to 3 weeks. One source tells us that it includes Michael Flynn, Carter Page, Roger Stone, and Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. Committee members have also been told to spend more time in Washington as the investigation moves into a more labor-intensive phase. Also, with the committee's Republican chairman, Devin Nunes, recusing himself from the investigation, intelligence agencies are back sharing documents with the committee. There's no word on whether Nunes' ties to the White House spurred the freeze-out. Congressman Eric Swalwell is a member of the House Intelligence Committee. I spoke to him earlier. Congressman, there's new reporting that the list of witnesses for your investigation includes Michael Flynn, Carter Page, Roger Stone, Jared Kushner. Are you able to confirm that that is the fact in this case?
Anderson, I can tell you the witnesses are relevant ones, and the documents that we are reviewing have expanded since Mike Conaway has come on to lead this investigation for the Republican side. So we are back on track, and I think that's a good thing.
Based on our reporting, the witness list is, quote, extensive. Can you give us a better idea of what exactly that means? Are we talking 10 people, 20 people?
I can tell you, Anderson, it's going to be a long summer here in Washington, so even during recess weeks, members of the Intelligence Committee expect to be here interviewing witnesses, getting to the bottom of this, and doing everything we can to make sure we're never in a mess like this again.
Do you expect these hearings to be open? And to you, how important is it that they are?
To me, it's very important that if we are not conveying to a witness classified information or we are not receiving classified information, I think it should be open. Now, some witnesses will have classified information, and that could be done in secret, but I think the American people benefited when Director Comey and Director Rogers came forward, and I think, the more we can do that, the more trust we will engender with the American people.
The notion that Chairman Nunes' recusal actually spurred intelligence agencies to agree to share documents with your committee, that they were reticent to do so while he was still committee chair, is that your understanding of what happened here?
My experience over the past 3 years has been that intelligence agencies have expected and just through the custom have seen the Intelligence Committee work together in a bipartisan fashion. So this was unusual to see the chairman do what he did. And so I think for us to be back on track with a new leader of the investigation, I think it's probably restored the faith among all. And again, we just want to get back to work, and I can say right now that that's the case.
How difficult does it make things for your committee that there are currently 4 separate congressional investigations into Russian interference, asking, I presume, for a lot of the same witnesses, requesting a lot of the same documents? Does it complicate it?
No question there are a lot of redundancies. I think that this would have been better handled if we had a joint Senate-House investigation, but that was a decision that Leader McConnell and Speaker Ryan made to have them separately. But, we'll go on. I still think, Anderson, that the most comprehensive way to get to the bottom of this, to take politics out, and to debunk a lot of the myths out there is to have an independent commission, and I'm pursuing a separate track to try and make that happen with the bill that Elijah Cummings and I have.
We all saw the drama, obviously, with Nunes and the kind of the trips to the White House. Do you believe your committee's investigation is back on track?
Yes, and I also have a lot of faith in Mike Conaway from Texas. I take him at his word and have seen him at work, and I think he just wants to follow the evidence. And we all have an interest in finding out what happened. Getting to the bottom as to whether any U.S. persons were involved. That's something very important to both sides. And then making recommendations so that no country, Russia or otherwise, is able to pull this off again.
When we saw the first open hearing that you all had, I mean, there was sort of a tale of 2 committees, really. It was Republicans asking questions about leaks and Democrats asking about Russia. Do you still see that sort of division?
Well, we have a responsibility to just, follow the evidence. And so the Democratic side, we wanted to point out the deep personal, political, and financial ties between Donald Trump and his team with Russia at the time that Russia was interfering in our investigation. That's what we thought was most relevant. And I hope the Republicans understand that we, too, want to, pursue anyone that violated the law if there were leak violations, but that is not as important as our sovereignty being violated and us doing nothing about it.
And Michael Flynn, in terms of getting him to testify, is an offer of immunity? Is that a possibility?
I'm not familiar with one, and unless he were to proffer to us why we should do that, in other words, what he could offer that we could not otherwise obtain, I don't think that'd be a good idea.
Congressman Swalwell, I appreciate your time. Thanks.
My pleasure.